Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with certified franchise expert Max Emma. He has extensive experience in franchising, ranging from providing bookkeeping services to over 100 franchise brands in the U.S. to creating and growing his own bookkeeping franchise to provide franchise consulting to individuals. As an immigrant coming from the former Soviet Union almost 32 years ago, he's come a long way from learning English using his own know-how to graduating with honors and working for corporate America. 22 years ago, he left that world and became an entrepreneur, and he's never looked back. Dig the story.
Well, it's great to meet you. I'm looking forward to peeling back the layers of your life as a franchise expert, but I want to begin our interview with 4 years ago, we were trying to figure out this global pandemic and how long it was going to last and how it was going to affect us. How did you get through that time period, and how did it change the way that you do your business?
Bookkeeping started about almost 13 years ago, 12 and a half years ago, and then few years into that, to be exact, about 2019, we decided to franchise the business because by then we already knew a lot and wanted to pass this information to local accounting firms that can use our expertise. So with my luck, we got an approval from the federal government the day we went into lockdown. So as you can imagine, that changed everything. So we had to put the franchising on hold and figure out how, to change our operations. Bookkeeping has offices in different parts of the U.S. and the world, and some parts of the world got shut down more than the U.S. did. So we had to adjust. We had to make sure the security is there, added different layers, and make sure the employers are safe, but at the same time that the work is being done. So it took us probably, I'd say, 3 to 4 months to adjust, but a few good things came out of COVID for us. Number one, clients became more comfortable outsourcing the bookkeeping because pre-COVID it was always an excuse. Well, I like somebody to be local. I like somebody to be in my office. I want to see them live. I want to have weekly meetings with them. COVID changed all of this. So now people are way more cool about, us doing it remotely and having people working on their accounts from different parts of the world. And second, the demand went up a lot because many clients decided to outsource all the overhead functions, and really accounting is one of them, which is, great not only for us as the corporate unit, but definitely great for our franchisees.
So let's get to the heart and soul of exactly what you do for a living. I'm going to put you in front of a bunch of third graders at career day, and one of the kids says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer that child?
So I will tell this child that we give people freedom. We give them freedom of time by doing their bookkeeping for their businesses so they can concentrate on either growing their business or spending time with their family. So that's what we do in a nutshell. And then that's what we are training our franchisee to do in their local market. They doing that for local businesses.
So when you were in the third grade, what was your dream? What did you want to be when you grew up?
So I grew up in the former Soviet Union. So when I was at third grade, it was a country that was completely closed. We did not see a lot of the world other than on television, and even that was very, very, very limited. So my dream was just to grow up and get an education because that's what my family was doing. And, my older brother was in university when I was a third grader. My parents had degrees. Everybody. So I knew that's what I want to do. And that was the really the extent of it because, again, everybody was supposed to be more or less equal in the Soviet Union. So I can tell you that I had a huge dream. When I came to the United States at the age of 18, then, I definitely got the American dream that I want to be successful, I want to grow, I want to learn. So that was the life-changing experience for me. Third grader, not so much.
So what were those seeds early on in your life that were planted in you that made you be an entrepreneur, made you want to, like, when you did come to America, what happened early on in your life to give you this desire and drive to be who you are today?
So I guess just my curiosity. I was always looking for an opportunity to make money. Not to become rich, because again, remember where I grew up, but just because I loved it. I loved the fact that you can make money. So I remember I was probably fourth grader, so I was about 10 or 11, and in my school, I was just passing by the lobby, and I saw a couple people standing there, like a couple adults, and they were holding a couple pairs of jeans. And back in the Soviet Union, they did not have jeans at the time, okay? So I'm like, are you selling those? Like, no, we're not selling those, but we are looking for kids to be like runaway models, for the company that is producing the jeans. I guess the Soviets decided to make jeans themselves. I mean, we're not going to go into quality of these jeans, but I just started talking to them, and they hired me, and I started making money at the age of 10 or 11, and I absolutely loved it, okay? Obviously, we did not invest it. We did not do anything with it, but I got my own skateboards. I did a lot of things, and I was a cool kid because of that, because obviously not too many kids at the age of 10 or 11 in the Soviet Union would make money. And so I guess that was the first seed. And then when I came to the United States, again, I was always looking for opportunities. And first opportunity to learn English, then opportunity to make money. I pretty much came, I don't want to say zero English, but very close to that. So I had to come up with my own know-how, how to learn English and do it fast.
So who's been kind of a hero or an inspiration in your life?
Myself. I am my own hero because it is my story, and I've had my ups, I've had my downs, but I'm very proud of myself, how I navigated through these ups and downs.
So if you could meet one person alive on the planet right now that you find fascinating, who would that be? Who would you love to meet and talk to?
Probably, I'd say Mark Cuban at this point, only because I love the story when he started with nothing and then went through quite a few downs, was able to create a company from scratch, then sell it, and then go into, sports, and now owning a professional basketball team. So I would say Mark Cuban.
So what is your motivation every day to get up to do the work that you do, to not only do work well, but to also evolve as a human being yourself? What is that for you?
It's growing. I mean, I strongly believe that if a person doesn't grow, he or she dies. So I'm getting up every day just to learn new things, just to be better myself and better self, moving towards my future self, which definitely is going to be better than who I am today.
So of all of the clients that you've worked with, what's one of your favorite client success stories?
So switching gears to the franchisees, I love all of my franchisees, but, as they say, you always remember your first. So my first franchisee, she had a bookkeeping business before. She joined BooXkeeping family, and she probably had, I don't remember exactly now, but I want to say she was doing about $3,000 a month in the revenue, working from home. When she joined BooXkeeping, and we did provide her training, we actually enabled her to 5X it in about 4 or 5 months. So in about 4 or 5 months, maybe even sooner, she was making $15,000 a month. Mind you, we didn't teach her how to become an accountant. She already was one. She had an accounting degree and she had years of experience. But we did teach her how to sell, how to do networking, how to get more clients. So for me, this is definitely a success story. And I'm very, very proud what came out of that. And I'm very happy that many of our existing franchisees are actually following the footsteps.
So what's the best advice you've ever gotten?
So I came to the United States, and my first job, I was bussing tables in the local restaurant for about a few months before I got a job at Costco, and that actually lasted me through my university years for about 5 years. But my first job was bussing the table, and I remember there was a guy who was like a security guard in this shopping mall where the restaurant was. He was coming and getting a cup of coffee every day after his shift, like literally every day. That's all he did. And back then, in 1993, you could smoke in the restaurant, believe it or not. So he was smoking and drinking coffee. And, you know, I was looking for opportunities to practice my English anytime I could. And we were talking, and he just said, man, you know, when he learned my story, man, please go and get an education. I was young, I was stupid, I was partying, and I never got it, and look where I'm at. I'm probably making what you are making right now, and there is no way I'll ever make more in my life. So just go get an education. I still remember it. It's been more than 31 years ago, but I still see the face of this guy and the way he said it.
So flash forward to now, of all of the things that you've done in your career and evolved into, what are you the proudest of?
Well, it's definitely not the career. It's my family. They're my 2 kids. I have 2 boys who are almost 19 and 14, and they are pursuing their dreams. And my 19-year-old is actually producing beats for the rap industry, and one of his songs he produced just came out last weekend, and it had like 600,000 views on the musical video in the first couple of days, which is awesome, and it had probably like 3 million downloads in a few days. So I'm very proud who my kids became and who are they going to become. That's definitely gives me more joy than any business in the world.
So if you have a dream tonight, you run into that version of you right before you came to America, and you could give that version of you a piece of advice based on the life you've lived, the wisdom you gained, what advice would you give that young version of you?
Just be more aggressive in learning, in pursuing your dreams, and the word of wisdom that I would give myself would be anything is possible.
So everyone out there has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, but you run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
My perception is that I'm a good person, that I'm a good father, that I'm a good friend, that I'm a good son, I'm a good brother, that I'm a good boss. That's my perception, but I'm good. I'm not great, because as soon as I say I'm the greatest, that's it. Again, I stop growing and then I die. So there is always ways to improve myself, and there are always ways to learn.
Well said. Max, if anyone wants to hire you, reach out, learn more about what you're doing, any of the good business, where do they go?
Well, they would go either on LinkedIn and find me under my name, Max Emma, or they can go and check us out on BooXkeepingFranchise.com, and bookkeeping is spelled as BOOXKEEPING, so it's BooXkeepingFranchise.com. We are looking for new franchisees in pretty much most of the 50 states. We have some territories that are already taking, but I'm looking forward to grow my business and enable other people to become successful.
Excellent, Max. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your time and for your story, and best of luck with everything. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks for tuning in to another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, business, spirituality, music, and more from around the globe. Our esteemed theme music was composed and produced by the great E.E. Pointer of Kansas City's River Cow Orchestra. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. You can also find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.